Kris.
And I'm Wyatt Elliott from Notebook Entertainment.
And you're watching Horrorland News.
Pooh Bear.
So today we have a lot of fun stuff. In TV Roundup, we're going to be talking about 3 different shows, including the new Walking Dead spinoff they've released clips for. In Trailer Park, we've got a real fun documentary about the Chucky series. News, we've got Blumhouse horror video game news. And then we've got 3 crazy movies that are coming out that I want to talk about. And then for Indie Film Spotlight, again, rather than go looking on YouTube like I normally do, we're going to do what we did for... Skinamarink. And we're going to
That's how memorable that movie was.
Right. And we're going to talk about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And we're going to review it at the end of this episode. So stay tuned for that.
Spoiler alert, we liked it better than Skinamarink.
God, I love it so much. Okay. So let's get right into this with TV Roundup.
No TV and no beer make Homer something. All
right, so first up from Paramount Plus, we have a show called School Spirits. It is about ghosts, which is why I've decided to talk about it here, but I think it's more of like a detective mystery story, which is right up my alley.
Yeah, that's cool too. Do the ghosts get to help solve the crime?
Yeah, so what it's about, Maddie is a teen stuck in the afterlife investigating her own mysterious disappearance. She goes on a crime-solving journey as she adjusts to high school purgatory, but the closer she gets to discovering the truth, the more secrets and lies she uncovers.
High school being purgatory, that's a pretty good idea, yeah.
We've all been there. So School Spirits is based on an upcoming graphic novel by Nate and Megan Trinrud. And I don't know if they're brother and sister, if they're married, but
yeah,
they share the same last name. So Nate and Megan. So check out the graphic novel. We'll bring you more information as that comes out. But the first 3 episodes of School Spirits will be on Paramount Plus March 9th.
Cool. Paramount Plus needs some good content.
Yeah. Challenge.
Other than challenge. All
right. So next up we go to Walking Dead Dead City on AMC. This is premiering June 2023. We don't have an exact date yet, but they did say June 2023. So it's coming.
Summer.
They did release 2 clips, so we'll link to that somewhere. And it's basically Negan and Maggie go to New York City to look for her kidnapped son Herschel. Is the premise. Scott M. Gimple, great name. He's the executive producer, and he said, quote, "This version of the Big Apple is chaotic. It has its own cultures and its own warring factions. It's a madhouse, and Maggie and Negan enter it and get swept up in it."
To my knowledge, they never explored the East Coast in The Walking Dead, so this would be, because Fear the Walking Dead was the West Coast. The main one was the South basically. Yeah. It was like Atlanta. And then after, I don't know what any of the other spinoffs did, but...
yep, well, this one's going to NYC.
Yeah, so that could be cool. Maybe New York's the new hot spot for horror this year.
Moving on, we've got Welcome to Derry, which I feel like we've talked about this before.
We talked about when they announced it.
Well, now it's going to HBO Max. It got a straight-to-series order.
Nice.
And Welcome to Derry is apparently the working title. So like we told you before, it is a prequel series. And the brother-sister team of Andi and Barbara Michietti and Jason Fuchs, who did It Chapter 1 and 2, they'll be running everything, and then Andi is going to direct several episodes, including the first one.
Nice.
So they're keeping it in the family.
And so that, I would assume that means it takes place in the universe of the remake movie, not like its own universe, not the original.
It is a prequel to It Chapters 1 and 2.
Awesome. Very nice.
And so I think keeping the same creators is good. Yes. Stephen King has given this series his blessing. He's all about it. I think he said red balloons for everybody. And there's no word yet on any casting, so we don't know if Bill Skarsgård's going to come play Pennywise. Yeah. So we will bring you more information on Welcome to Derry as it comes available. Can only tell you what they tell us.
I mean, we've been reporting on this show since the concept of it.
Right, because I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think the story was they had a concept and then they were pitching it, and now they pitched it, they got it.
They got their straight-to-series order,
yeah, so sweet.
HBO must have loved it.
Well, they need something.
All right, so let's move on to Trailer Park.
In a world.
All right, so we only have one today, but it's a fun one. It's called Living with Chucky. It's from Screambox, and it'll be streaming on Screambox April 4th. It's a documentary. It's written and directed by Kyra Elise Gardner, daughter of special effects artist Tony Gardner.
Oh.
So the documentary details the history of Child's Play films by the cast and crew, in addition to Gardner's relationship with the series and the impact it had on her family. Gardner, who grew up alongside Chucky the Killer Doll, seeks out other families surrounding the Child's Play films as they recount their experiences working on the ongoing franchise and what it means to be part of the Chucky family.
This looked fun. Yeah, I think that this looks like a fun movie.
Oh, yeah. And all the stars are attached. Brad and Fiona Dourif, Jennifer Tilly, Alex Vincent, Christine Elise, and, of course, Don Mancini are all involved. So.
Awesome. Yeah, this looks fun. Screambox is really coming up and with their original content and everything. Obviously trying to compete with Shudder.
Yep. It's worth it to check them out. Maybe get a free month. Check them out. Whatever. See what they've got. So I'm excited for this. I love horror documentaries. I just do.
Oh, yeah.
I like peeks behind the curtain. I like story time.
All the stories of making movies and the creative process is always fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
So I will definitely want to be seeing this again April 4th on Screambox.
All right, get your subscriptions now.
All right, so let's move on to news. So first up, Blumhouse is getting into horror video games. That's exciting.
I'm kind of excited for this, actually.
Yep. According to Verge, quote, it will be focused on original horror-themed games for console, PC, and mobile audiences. Essentially, Blumhouse will be acting as a publisher of sorts, working with indie developers on projects with budgets below $10 million.
Cool. Well, that's a good idea. That's what they specialize in, is low-budget stuff. So, heck, I mean, I would play like a video game where you're like an invisible man or something.
Right.
That'd be cool. Or, you know, whatever other
Play as
properties
Michael
they
Myers.
have. They do have the rights.
They
to
have
Michael
the rights to
Myers.
Michael
Oh,
Myers.
that's right. Ooh, that would be cool.
So, Zach Wood is going to be the president of the new gaming division within Blumhouse, and he is quoted as saying, quote, there's a unique opportunity for horror and genre in the indie game space, and I'm thrilled about teaming up with Blumhouse to meaningfully leverage the company's brand, reputation, and creative talent. Now, there's no specific projects or partners announced yet, so we will let you know as soon as they do.
Yeah, it sounds like to me that he is starting the division of Blumhouse, the company, to do it and to seek out projects to do. They don't have like, hey, we want to make a game.
So if you've got an idea,
there you go.
Jason Blum is on Twitter a lot. Go send him a DM or something.
He tweets such random shit
I
sometimes.
I love following him. So yeah, I mean, if you've got an idea for an indie game, they're taking up to 10 mil, so go for it.
I have no idea what it costs to make an indie game these days, but I would like to think 10 mil would go a long way.
You'd think, but probably not.
Probably not.
Alright, so now the next three stories are all just wackadoo crazy movie ideas. I think Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Cocaine Bear have like jump-started this crazy,
dude,
like, get ready for some crazy times in horror. It's about to get straight up 80s movies in here.
Dude,
like,
I'm all for it.
I'm
all for it.
We are getting 80s horror weird.
Yes.
I'm all for it. Let's do a renaissance.
Let's do it. Let's
get this weird shit going.
Strap in. Let's do it.
So first up, the one that everybody has heard about, production company The Asylum, who's done Sharknado and Titanic 2. They've announced their next project, Attack of the Meth Gator. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I mean, how do we know there isn't already meth gators in Florida?
There's meth gators.
It's Florida, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
This movie writes itself.
Right.
Like, for real. No, this was brilliant marketing because you know what happened. The Cocaine Bear's coming out. It's getting a lot of press. The guys over at that studio are like, we need to do something.
An idea. Let's see how Cocaine Bear does. And then Cocaine Bear almost took the top spot.
Yep.
And they're like, okay.
But Marvel held on to it like this much. Like, no, it's ours.
Look, I liked Ant-Man. I did. Yeah, I really did.
Me too.
But, I mean, it's a movie about a bear on cocaine. Why would you not go see that?
Yeah. So you know what I've noticed, though, is a lot of YouTubers are having to not call it by its name.
Yeah, because of YouTube. Right.
I'm like,
it's stupid.
But it's fun. Yeah, so we may have to get creative with this, but...
Whatever.
Whatever.
So... Attack of the Meth Gator will be out sometime this summer, and that's all we know.
And we're going to rent the fuck out of this.
Oh, for sure. They announced it on Twitter, and then they replied to someone who was hoping it was real. They're like, I really hope this is real, not a joke. And they said, the Asylum account said, quote, "This is real. We're pumping meth into Florida's freshwater reserves as we speak." And I'm like, but do you need to? It might already be there.
I'm not sure that they're lying,
right.
But
I assume it's going to be released on Sci-Fi. I mean...
Well, that or maybe direct-to-digital rental or whatever.
Maybe. They might put it on Sci-Fi because they've got a good relationship with Sci-Fi with the Sharknado movies.
They probably will,
so.
yeah. But these guys are the ones who also made the Transformers Transmorphers.
Transmorphers, yeah.
They did an Avengers one. I can't remember what it was called, though.
I can't either, but Titanic 2 is what got me, yeah.
I think they may have also did one where it was a Titanic ship in space. And it was like a spaceship.
Titanic 2.
Is that Titanic 2?
I think it's Titanic 2.
Oh, okay, then that's Titanic 2.
All right, so moving on from Meth Gator, Alan Ruck, who everybody's like, oh, from Succession. From Succession, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Spin City.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Because
I'm old.
I didn't know he was on Succession. I don't
watch Succession. But I was like, no, that's definitely Alan Ruck from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Right.
And Speed. He was in Speed.
He was
in Speed. He was the guy who peed himself.
He sure was. Such a small part.
I know, but so memorable.
Yeah. I don't blame him for doing it.
So, Alan Ruck and Sean Whalen, who acted together in Twister. Yeah, because Alan Ruck was also in Twister. Fuck your Succession.
He was, yeah.
They were in Twister together. They're starring in a new horror comedy about a sock monster. The movie is called Crust. So Whalen's directing. It's going to be his directing debut. Okay. And it was written by Whalen and Jim Weld.
I kind of like the way it's called Crust because all boys
It tells you right there.
It's called Crust.
It tells you right there what this movie is. So Crust tells the story of a lonely laundromat owner, Vegas Winters, played by Whalen, who keeps the leftover socks from customers and uses them to clean himself.
Oh, God.
When he gets abused and weeps into the pile of socks, it turns into a creature who seeks revenge on Vegas's enemies. Ruck plays Randy Roberts, a cocky former child star who is spearheading a reboot of his childhood shows.
I'm not against this idea.
No, I love this idea. And then plus, on top of it, Felissa Rose has a role in this.
That's Sleepaway Camp.
Sure the fuck is.
I know my stuff.
I love Sleepaway Camp. Okay.
That's awesome.
She goes to cons all the time, and I've never gotten to see her, but I would love to meet her at a con.
We'll have to make sure we see her.
So they actually raised the funding on this through Indiegogo. Their campaign's still going. There's 18 days left. Okay. They only had a $40,000 goal, but they're at over 60,000 when I looked.
Oh, nice.
So they've met their goal and then some.
So they know it's a small budget movie. Yep. They're not trying to.
And Felissa Rose she signed on to be one of the producers of this movie as well.
Oh,
so
nice.
They've got on the Indiegogo, you can go through and meet all the cast and then the producers, and she is listed as one of the producers.
Nice.
All right, so the last one we're going to talk about is from Sean Levy, who's the producer of Stranger Things. He also he's also directed Deadpool 3.
Yep.
He's he's teaming up with writers Andrew Barrer and Gabriel Ferrari, who did Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh. And they're making a horror film about garden gnomes called Gnomes as of right now.
I'm down for this idea too, by the way. We were talking about this off camera. Yeah, so down for this. And
it's for Sony Pictures. There's no director attached, no casting because it's still in early development. But it has been announced, and it fit the theme of crazy-ass movies. So I was like, all right, let's talk about gnomes.
And I think it's perfect. I was telling her, too, I had a friend years ago who was deathly terrified of gnomes. And I'm like, she can't be the only one. And I've always thought that garden gnomes is prime for a cheesy horror movie.
Creepy. That's why I like them.
Right. I mean, you can make it as something like Gremlins, or you can make it something like Troll 2. You know, either way,
I'll watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I watched both of those movies. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move on to our indie film spotlight.
My advice to young filmmakers: make a movie every week. Make films, no matter what anybody says, and you'll be a filmmaker.
So today we're going to be talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I do like Winnie the Pooh. However, he is not my favorite character. Tigger is, but this was in our wardrobe, so our prop department.
Yep. And Tigger's not in this movie.
No.
So.
Which I'll talk about in a minute. But, so Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, we went and saw it in theaters. He was like meh about it coming out. I fucking loved it. I did. I loved it.
I don't want you to give me the wrong idea. I do like it. I was enjoying myself. But I think, I would say I liked it, not I loved it. It's the difference. But I do like it. Like, I liked it enough to buy a shirt, So,
I hope they put it on physical media because not a lot of movies are doing that anymore.
No, but being an independent film, though, too, they probably will. You have to buy it from them, which we will.
Which we did. We bought the shirts.
The shirts came right from them, so.
So, again, written and directed by Reese Frake Waterfield. What a name, dude.
Hey,
And then obviously it's based on the characters by A.A. Milne.
Yeah.
So there's already a second one announced, and I'm all for it. I'm in. We talked about it in the news. I'm all in on a second one. I will watch as many as they want to make.
My favorite part of this movie was the opening and the animation and the backstory, because I don't know if we're going to go into story or not, but the backstory is
hold on. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled. Turn it off now. Otherwise, we're going to be talking about plot details and plot points and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. But I want to say it because it's important to me as to why I really like the plot.
Right.
It's because it reminds me of how, like people get animals and they abandon them. Dogs and bunnies and stuff like that. And so it reminds me of that kind of story where the animal gets revenge.
Well, it's not even that, because, the way that I associated with was we had a childhood dog growing up. She was like 13 already or something, 12, 13, when I went away to college. So I'd grown up with this dog. I missed my dog while I was away at college. I'm sure she missed me, even though she had the rest of the family. So that's what I equated it to, because Christopher Robin, the story is Christopher Robin plays with them and gives them humanity or whatever, teaches them to speak, all that stuff. Then he goes away to college. It's not that he's abandoning them.
Right.
He's going away to college. He intends to come back. They don't know that because they're animals. And so that's what I equated to. And all this movie did was make me feel even worse for leaving my dog behind when I went to college.
I guess that does make sense. That is true what the story is. I took it as a mean of, horrible stories.
Well, animals, I leave to go walk to my mailbox and my dogs think I abandoned them.
True. No, animals think that once you leave, you're gone forever.
Forever, right. So... It's telling it from the animals' point of view. Yeah, they probably were pissed that, and I do like you said, the opening of the movie is all very crude animation of the characters and what they're doing and stuff. It's very much like this.
Yeah, very much.
And I really liked it.
I liked it, when they're, because I'd rather see that than depict them in live action starving and stuff.
Yeah.
You have the animation that tells it all, because they go and they kill their friends.
Eeyore.
They
kill and eat Eeyore.
I know.
Okay, and that's the thing. So here's the plot. Basic plot is Christopher Robin plays with them all in 100 Acre Woods. All's good. And then he goes away to college. Winter comes and suddenly there's no more Christopher Robin with picnic baskets full of food, and so they're starving and stuff, and so they wind up killing and eating Eeyore, but the trauma of killing and eating their friends drives them mad.
Yeah.
And so they go feral and decide they will never speak again.
And they hate all humans, I think.
And that's why they decide they're never going to speak again.
Yep. So again, probably more plot than a movie like this,
right.
should.
I think
I liked it.
Well, we'll talk about that in problems. Yeah. We're on what we love right now. So I loved everything. It was a really fun movie, even though it was pretty gory in some spots, but I like the gore too. So
I like the gore. Yeah.
The special effects makeup, I wish there were better shots of all of it, like all the wounds and stuff. They cut away real quick on a lot of stuff. But it was there. And Pooh and Piglet weren't as bad as I expected with the masks and stuff. I think Piglet was a little better.
Piglet looked more realistic, but I think as far as a pig goes...
I think the masks balanced the line between realistic and camp enough that it was believable. It hugged that camp curve just right,
And I didn't expect Pooh's face to move at all. I thought it was going to be strictly a rubber mask, but it does move a little bit. His mouth moves. You'll see his ears move. So it's not a big animatronic mask. Maybe that'll be for the next one if they get more money.
Yeah, bigger budget.
But you know, for what it was, I was impressed with it. Like I would have filmed with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looked enough like Pooh. You see him, you get the idea. That's Pooh. You know.
Yeah. And I just want to say the grossest part of this movie isn't not one of the deaths. The grossest part of this movie is when Pooh is sitting there over that honey jar, just slurping honey into his. God, I was like, ugh, in the theater. I just watched somebody get flayed alive or whatever.
Right.
And then I'm cool with it. And then he's sitting there. I'm like, ew.
Yeah.
Like it was so gross, you guys.
See, I liked that because that was one of the things you saw his nose move and stuff.
Oh, it was so
really
gross. He's just like, it was like dripping from his mouth.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, again, I liked the movie a lot. I think the kills were decent. Like, you know, there wasn't like Terrifier type kills in it or whatever.
Right.
But I liked it. I think it satisfied my needs, and I think it definitely left it open for a sequel.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
so getting into stuff that we didn't like about it, I think the way that he said that it was more plot than expected, I think they gave us a little too much plot in some areas. And I'm talking about the stalker plot when we get to our main girl, who we assume is our final girl. Spoiler alert, she is not.
She's not.
But I'll get back to that in a minute.
Right.
But the whole plot with the stalker is like, we don't need it. If you want the girls to go to a cabin in the middle of the woods, just have them have a girls' weekend at the cabin in the middle of the woods. Like, we don't need that she's gathering all her friends to get away from this stalker and then have that moment of, is it my stalker outside? No, you guys saw it was a big fucking bear. Clearly it's not your goddamn stalker. Like,
Right.
I think the whole stalker storyline needs to go.
Okay.
That is my biggest problem with this movie, is that it gave us too much plot and
Yeah.
overcomplicated things when it should have just been a bunch of girls in the cabin in the woods. There's Winnie the Pooh. Stupid spam.
Say that last part again.
It should have just been girls in the woods being hunted by Winnie the Pooh. That's all it should have been.
I agree. I guess now that you bring that up, yeah, I do agree with that. Like,
it bothered me so much, the stalker shit. Like, it really did.
I don't remember. Did it even go anywhere?
No, all it did was it was the device. We had the scene with the girl talking with the stalker, Maria. We had Maria talking with not with the stalker, with the therapist.
Right.
About the stalker. The therapist is like, well, maybe you should take some people that you trust and get away for the weekend.
Right.
And so that's how they wind up at this cabin or whatever. And then she tells the story about this stalker and how he got into her apartment one night and everything. And supposedly he's locked up. So what the fuck do we care about this stalker? Like, she's worried he's going to get out and come after her. Okay, valid.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, we didn't need any of this.
No, if you were
because the stalker goes nowhere. He's in jail. Like,
right. If you're gonna use it, the stalker should have shown up, and then Pooh killed the stalker
or something.
But there's no point.
There's no stalker at all. And like I said, immediately they see through the windows that the thing outside is not human.
Right.
And there's still a line where they're like, "Is that your stalker?" I don't think so, or something like that.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
clearly it's not her fucking stalker.
Like,
you guys.
I believe in the opening, don't they establish that they are hybrid animals? They're like a mutant.
Yeah,
there's some, I don't know where they say they came from or whatever, but
he
they
finds
are,
them.
They're just in the magical forest, and he finds them.
Yeah,
so they are established that they're humanoid, but
hybrid,
whatever.
So yeah, the stalker thing needed to go, and then again, I don't really like Winnie the Pooh. I love Tigger and Eeyore. Those two are my jam because they're the two sides of my personality where it's like I'm either oh or I'm like oh. No, that's Pooh.
I know.
So so Tigger and Eeyore are my jams, and Eeyore's already been eaten, so fuck him, I guess. And then Tigger's not in it. But the reason Tigger is not even mentioned in this movie is because Tigger was part of the original toys that the real Christopher Robin played with. He's on display at the Smithsonian or wherever the fuck they're on display at. But the character was not introduced in the books till the second one. Those are not public domain yet. Only the first book is public domain. So the Tigger and the second book's characters will enter public domain January 1st, 2024. Ooh. So I really hope they hold off on a sequel until then. Because I really wanted an image of, like, Tigger bouncing someone to death. Like,
I did too. I remember we said that before. It'd be really awesome to see him bouncing around. And you know what? If 2024 is not that far off, clearly, guys.
Right.
So I think they could do it.
Yep. Or start filming it now and don't release it till 2024 if you want. Whatever.
Something, yeah. But I'll bet maybe do another fundraiser and fundraise for it or whatever, and take some time.
Do something, because get Tigger in it. Get Tigger in it.
Take some time, or Tigger's in part 3. But
I don't
whatever.
care. I want Tigger.
But yeah, because in the movie they never say what happened to the other ones. They ate Eeyore, but they never say. So I think that means I think Rabbit would be sadistic.
Rabbit was mentioned.
He was.
Yeah, because he's part of the first book. It's Rabbit and Owl were the other two.
But they don't mention what happened to them, right?
We don't know what happened to either of them. So they are still out there somewhere.
That's what I'm
potentially.
saying. I want to see Rabbit. I think Rabbit would be sadistically insane looking, but I like to see it.
Yeah.
There's some creepy rabbits in pop culture.
The other thing I really loved about this movie is that they did not do what you expected in the ending.
No.
Like, at all. So, huge spoiler alert for the ending. So, our final girl, so at some point Christopher Robin had come back, right? And Winnie the Pooh killed his fiancée and captured him because he was so pissed at Christopher Robin. And they've been keeping him and torturing him and all that.
Basically starving him to death.
Right.
Yeah.
They've been torturing him, all that stuff. They, like, burned his fiancée's body and then threw her charred skeleton in front of him for him to witness. Like,
He's
it was
fine.
Yeah, it's sadistic in some places. But, so Mary is the main girl from the group of girls, the one who is a stalker, and all her friends slowly die off one by one, obviously. And so her and Christopher Robin meet up, and you figure, okay, well, they're going to escape. They're the final girls. Maybe he'll die, but she's the final girl, clearly.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah. So, no! totally kills her. Right when you think, oh, maybe they're going to get away. Nope.
No.
Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin's begging him not to kill her. So Winnie the Pooh kills her, and then takes Christopher Robin back into the woods, and that's the end of the movie.
Piglet died, right? I think Piglet...
Piglet got smashed with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's dead.
I think it was off screen.
No, I'm not sure if he's dead, because you missed it in the theater, because I remember you were like, wait, what happened to him? Why did Piglet get on the ground? Because what happened was one of the girls was hiding with a sledgehammer, and so Winnie the Pooh chased the other girls, and as Piglet came, the girl jumped out and swung the sledgehammer at Piglet, and got him, and then just kept hitting him.
Okay, so yeah, so I took that as he's dead, but like you said, you could always, it's a horror movie. You can come back.
They're never dead.
But or Pooh has Rabbit in the next one, and you have Tigger.
Rabbit,
in the
Owl,
one,
and Tigger.
Right.
They're still out there. And Kanga and Roo.
Yeah, I'd be fine with all
love
of
a little
that.
baby kangaroo killer. Oh
she
my
comes
God.
flying out of the pouch.
I love it.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
I love it. Okay, so I highly recommend this movie.
You know, I do, like I said, I want to make sure everyone's, I do like it. I don't think I had the level of enjoyment that she did. Obviously, my mind wandered at one point.
I like things that are weird.
Nonetheless,
and crazy.
I did like it. I liked it enough to support it and get a shirt, and I'm going to proudly wear everywhere. I also like it enough to want a sequel. I will watch a sequel.
I will watch
and
his
Peter Pan movie. He's coming out with he's writing a Peter Pan horror movie.
Yep, we reported on that a few episodes ago.
We sure did. And I guess he's got a whole bunch of fairy tales he wants to do, which I mean, shit, there's so many of them that were great for horror.
And if they're going to be, because I think everyone expected this to be kind of a lazy movie where it's just going to be, it's Killer Winnie the Pooh.
That's what I thought.
But it's not lazy at all. They put time and care and effort into this, and they really thought about plot. And again, I get rid of this whole stalker thing, but the rest of the plot was great.
I was honestly terrified it was going to be like Thanksgiving or something. Like, I really did.
But it was not.
It's not, guys. So if you get a chance to see it, do yourself a favor. If you like horror movies, see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's well worth your time. Buy it, rent it, wherever. I don't know where it's going to go.
I have no idea.
We saw it in a very limited release, and I regret nothing.
Yep.
So
no regrets.
On that note, that's our show for today. Please make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell so you get notifications of all our new videos that are coming out. And thank you for watching this and supporting us. And I think I've taken up enough of your time, so I'm going to go shut up now.
And I'm going to go talk over here.
All right. Bye-bye. And the battery is dying. I was like...